Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and have I got an extra special treat for you this evening. I have with me Ronnie McMullen at www.getthetea.com, and we've got some pretty amazing and gut-wrenching topics to talk about. Everything from the Zika virus to what's happening in Florida. And if you're in the Florida area, I highly recommend you listen up to this report. And if you're not, it could be coming to your state as well. Not only that, but we're going to be talking about the Kissinger Memorandum 200, also known as the Kissinger Report, back in the Nixon days. So and that delves into everything from depopulation to our problem with humanity, according to the document. Humans are a big problem. But we're going to delve into that, all that and more. But let's go first to Ronnie at Get the Tea. Ronnie, the big kahuna and the big CEO of GetTheTea.com. Are you with me?
Hi, I'm with you. How you doing, Lisa?
Good. How you been?
I'm doing good. You know, it's a lot of stuff going on out there. You know, it's got to have a fly swatter now.
Yeah, considering the Zika virus and all of that. But, you know, as I have been reading, and I'm going to show the viewers the document on the screen here, and you guys can see it here. But it's MSSM 200. Now, this is a report put back out in 1974. It was unclassified, or had to be declassified by the White House in order for the public to read it. It came out, I think, in the 1980s is when it was released. So it's a little bit of an older document, but nonetheless, all the principles still stand. And I've just been really reading this entire report and delving through it, kind of acquainting myself with this. But what I'm noticing is that they are pushing things like using famine for depopulation, using wars for depopulation, using sterilants, using even pestilence and things. And they talk about the different things that have controlled population all throughout the years. And I think it plays very well into some of the things we're seeing today. But it's honestly chilling. I mean, we all know Kissinger. He's not a good guy. He's a globalist. He's affiliated with, secret organizations ruling things from behind the scenes. And when they put out something this huge, I think that it can't be ignored. It really needs to be paid attention to. But just for a quick example of some of the things is, you know, they want to keep the population no more than 8 billion people, and we're currently at 7.28. Now, this was on page 8 and 9 of the report. If people want to check it out, I'll leave a link below. But we also know that on the Georgia Guidestones, that number is a lot smaller, obviously. But here, they're openly saying they will not go over that 8 million. And I know that their goal for the year 2000, again, this is on page 8, 9, and 10, they wanted to keep the world at 5.9 million. And they failed because in the year 2000, we were at 6.2 million people. So this is a big failure thus far. So I have a feeling that they're going to be pushing more of this depopulation agenda in the future, because there are a few marks that they've not hit. And we're getting really close to that 8 billion marker, at least on this particular document. What do you think about that, Ronnie? Do you think that they're going to do what they can to stop us even before we get to this 8 billion mark? What are your thoughts on all of that?
Well, they've been putting out these papers for a long time. They want to show, first of all, that they're in control. They're on the mass media now, and you can listen to different radio programs on the mass media, and they have made their move to now call themselves the establishment. So the establishment's not, made to, you don't think of government when you hear establishment, you think of they and them. That's usually my terms. So the point being is they want to make sure that you know and you fear, very important, that you fear them. Now, I think this is interesting. We talk about, like they're spraying, and we have chemicals in the air, and there's all these things that are deep, the hospitals are full, people are getting sick, so on and so forth. But I think the real worry here, and I've said this a couple of times in different shows, but I think the real worry is if Hillary gets into office, she made no bones about saying nuclear option is on the table. So when we're talking about depopulation, if we drop a bomb like we did in Hiroshima or Nagasaki, that gets rid of a lot of people real quick. And this is something that they want to always, they and them want wars. They want wars. In fact, some of the major truth websites are talking about having a war in the next 3 years with China, having a war in the next 3 years with Russia. Now, this is really interesting because when you go to the top, they all kind of get along. They, okay, let's have this bad guy against this bad guy. So when we're talking about these wars, again, Hillary in charge, and unfortunately, they and them want her in position. They're scared of the death of Trump. So she made it very clear. You can find video clips that even say it. Nuclear option is on the table. She wants to take out Iran. She wants to wrestle with Russia and China. Here's the problem. China has over 200 million troops. We in the United States aren't even close to that. So, and if you want to know, oh, well, but we have all these options and war games and all these war, missiles, so and so, and China doesn't have it, just so you know, that's wrong too, because when Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton were having their fun, in the background, war games were being pondered from China, going over to China. So the Clintons are very connected, and they will sell all of our arms and all of our everything for 2 cents on the dollar because that's what they do. So we could be in some big trouble if we see Hillary hit the table here.
So Ronnie, do you think it's possible, I guess, that we could be looking at some kind of, nuke in the future of sorts? I mean, is that a possibility?
I think it's more than a possibility if Hillary Clinton takes the throne. And we have to realize that I'm not for Hillary Clinton. I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm saying that the mass media, they and them, want Hillary in position. And obviously, she's talking about nuclear option is on the table. She's talking about Iran, Russia, and China. She's a liar. She should have been indicted. She got off scot-clean. So we're talking about our next world war is coming because war makes profit. And it's always about the money. Again, you're talking about the Kissinger report, talking about depopulation. What is a great way to depopulate and make it somebody else's fault? A nuclear weapon. So this is to me is the grand slam. This is where we're going to be going. Now, I don't think Trump is in that game. Maybe he is, but I just don't think he is. So this is why it's so important. I mean, when you have some of the major talk show hosts, and they're already giving up the ghost saying, yeah, well, I'm going to blame everybody because Hillary's going to get the position. That says a lot. So we need to do something. I don't even know what to do, but we've got to make sure she doesn't get into office because if she does, and of course, the only way to get into office is corruption. So we know that that's the only way she's going to win because I don't know about you, Lisa. Every time I talk to somebody, are you going to vote for Hillary? It's always no. No. I mean, I can't find anybody out there that's going to vote for Hillary except, maybe a rat or something. But it's just crazy. So it's really important. And of course, Obama's backing her, and Bernie Sanders, that's another funny thing. But she's backing her. So I mean, it's tough times. So I'm hoping that these Kissinger papers never come true, and I hope that what I'm saying about the nuclear option on the table never comes true.
And I hope the same. I mean, I'm obviously not for Miss Hillary Clinton, and I hope she doesn't get into office. And I did a report the other day, and I just want to encourage everybody to do the same. I mean, go out there and Google, anti-Hillary, websites and posts and links, censorship. You'll find link after link after link showing the amount of censorship for all those in opposition to Hillary's rule. If you have anything bad to say about Hillary, they're attempting to suppress a lot of it, and mainly from a lot of the big voices out there. I know a few of my YouTube videos have been censored simply because they spoke out against Hillary. Now, on the opposing side, if you go and put censorship of anything that's anti-Trump, you won't find it. It doesn't exist. You can do the same Google search, say you're on the opposite side. You won't find it. What do you find when you say, censorship of, links and information and websites who post, anti-Donald Trump stuff? Well, you won't find anything. You won't find it. And what you find is more censorship of Donald Trump himself. So it's just It's insane, but kind of back to the memorandum here. I mean, it doesn't say much about a nuke, but it does talk about how wars can bring massive amount of deaths and how they use wars to limit population. So I definitely see that could and may happen in the future. I mean, Hiroshima, we have things that have happened in our past that massive amounts of people unfortunately have died. But I think they can also use little things as well that they're doing in the meantime, because they failed on a few of these points in this report, but I don't see them failing in the future, and if they do, they're going to push even more. But for example, on page 83, if people scroll down to that on that document, it says, would food be considered an instrument of national power? Will we be forced to make choices as to whom we can assist? And if so, should population efforts be a criteria for such assistance? So that all out, pushes the thing, food wars. Food wars are not off the table. It's saying he who controls the food controls it all. So, I mean, that's kind of what's being pushed here. Can we use food for power? And that's something I think, that is obviously could hit us in the near future, which is why I also like to bring you on. And you're very big into health and very big at getthetea.com. And, I think we need to prepare ourselves.
Well, actually, the food wars is happening right now. If you look at the Central Coast and you look in the Central Valley of California, obviously we have drought, okay? We can just say, oh, yeah, drought. Oh, man, it just hasn't rained for so long. And a lot of people believe that way, and you really need to do your homework. Because this is a man-made drought. This is they and them changing. And the reason I can tell you that is you look at the Central Valley, farmers are getting out. They go, hey, I'm watching whole crops of trees. They're taking out the trees because there's not enough water. Tree takes up a lot of water. So a lot of the almond trees are going bye-bye, citrus trees are going bye-bye. The only thing they're doing now is grapes, because grapes is wine, wine is they and them. So it's interesting. Golf courses, you ever notice? They're still going good too. So this whole drought thing, this war thing coming up, depopulate. If you own the food, yes, but there's something even more important if you own the water. And if you look at Michael Burry, a huge stockbroker, he's saying right now they're buying up water rights crazy because they want to control the water, and they think there is a speculation that water will be the price of gasoline per gallon. Now think about that. So that would be crazy. You know how many gallons of water we use for a house? How much would that cost? So you would have to be in the elite just to have water in your house. So there's some really scary things going on, but yes, it's going to affect our health, and of course, the Zika virus. There's all kinds of good stuff to talk about. Jeez.
Maybe it's time to get a well.
It's time for something.
I have a well. Hopefully that'll help. Now I know you have like a purifying system, don't you, for wells or for any system and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, for any system at all. And water purifier I think is absolutely important. People go, oh no, I don't need that. I can just go to bottled water. Do your studies on bottled water. I keep saying we're going to have a show on bottled water one of these times, but bottled water is scary. There's like 10,000 plus chemicals in a bottle of water. So you're not safe going to getting Sparkletts water or whatever. I don't want to talk about a certain brand, but your bottled water is not safe. It's always good to get something that cleans the chloride, the chlorine, the chloramine, the fluoride, all of this stuff, heavy metals, so on and so forth. So it's always very important to get this. And of course, you need water with supplements, so those two kind of go together. Definitely.
So we know that, as far as the memorandum, and this was back in 1974, going off memory, but I think that's right. As far as this is concerned, we know that they use wars, they use famine, they use food, water, these kinds of things. But I think they can also use pestilence and chemicals, GMOs, these kinds of things. Can you tell us exactly what's happening in Florida right now? Because I think that absolutely relates.
Think NALED. People go, what? Think NALED. It's the new chemical. It's coming to you via your government, and we're going to charge you nothing. We're just going to spray it on your heads, and you're going to wonder what the heck happened when you wake up dead. No, actually, I'm just being a little facetious there. You won't die from this, but NALED is what they're spraying for the Zika virus. Now, that's kind of funny. They're spraying in Florida. They didn't notify anybody. All of a sudden, they're spraying. And this same chemical, which is put out by the Chevron Chemical Company, what do you know? There we go. It wasn't good enough on just petroleum, but we got to go further. It was banned in Europe, and it was banned in Puerto Rico. So it was banned. You have to ask yourself, why was it banned? Well, because it might cause nerve damage, and it might cause birth defects, and it might cause cancer. So, hey, there we go. We can fill up our hospitals. That's another way to get... So anyway, you can see I'm trying to be funny, but it's really not funny. They're spraying this. So they had a 10-mile radius. They're spraying this over crops, over people's heads, during school, when kids are playing. This is really bad for animals, by the way. And of course, I was looking at the chemical fact sheet, so these are the real deal. So I think it's a Band-Aid covering a Band-Aid. I mean, yes, the Zika virus is real. It's not good, but all of a sudden, hey, let's spray chemicals so we can get rid of a virus.
Okay, let me get
this.
That's
going to do it.
I know.
You're going to be smart.
Let me get this straight. So Zika, who affects a pregnant woman, can cause birth defects in the baby. They're using a chemical spray to spray over people that also can cause birth defects in a baby. Is that right?
Yeah, isn't that great? So you got in a car accident here. Well, let's put you in this car so you can have another car accident. It's like these people, and people are going, well, it might help us, yeah, well, I might get struck by lightning too. I don't really want to chance it. So it is really, sometimes I almost have to laugh because it's that bad. But anyway, yeah, so this is a scary thing.
That it's so upsetting because I read these documents and we know part of Agenda 21, Agenda 2030 is that they want lower population. I think Agenda 2030, Agenda 21 is almost a revision of this document because I've read Agenda 21 and I've read this, and they both truly incorporate a lot of the same things. Put women in the workforce, limit the amount of babies you can have, use things like famine, pestilence, to control the populations of the world. And that's why I like your product, and I bring this up, but it's because it really has helped me. Now, I have to say this, since I've been on your tea, and I've done the D365 sometimes, and the tea sometimes kind of flop back and forth between the two, but the super strength tea, the vitamin C, most recently the pine bark, I really like that. But the super strength tea, people have said, oh, Lisa, you look a lot better, and what are you doing? You look so much healthier. And we actually moved recently, and two of my friends came to visit me at separate times, and both of them are like, you look better. You look different. You look vivid. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling so sick anymore, because a lot of what was in my gut and a lot of those chemicals that we're getting, like what they're spraying in Florida. If you're in Florida, I would definitely do a detox, and I recommend the super strength tea because I love it and I know it works. And even my friends have noticed a difference in my energy level and what I'm doing, and that's something that actually takes out the toxins.
Correct. It takes out the toxins. It takes out all the garbage. Heavy metals also, by the way. So if you're worried about chemtrails, it's removing heavy metals. Fluoride, it removes, there's so much it removes. All the garbage, GMOs, it's working on that too. And it's kind of nice because right now, if you buy 3 months, you get a month for free. Plus, you'll be on free shipping. So it's kind of a great time right now. We always do this every summer. And it's a great time to get it. But when we're talking about the viruses that are going on, we're talking about bacteria, viruses, all this kind of stuff. Zika is obviously a virus. It's important. I have a product called Allison, Ali-C. And this product is like 34 to 40 cloves of garlic, okay, in one pill. Now, this means you go, oh, geez, garlic. I smell like garlic, burp garlic. No. This is odor-free. You're not going to smell, burp, or any of that stuff. It's not going to leak out your skin. But here's the wonderful thing about it. This is building the immune system, just like the tea builds immune, just like the pine bark builds immune system. Very big and very important to build your immune system, because if your immune system is down, that's what they're after. They're after your immune system being down. Even the colostrum builds your immune system. So if your immune system is down, you get a virus, you get bacteria, you get fungi, you get this sickness, okay? If your immune system is up, shields up, then you don't get this stuff, which means colds, flus, all this garbage that you would normally get, you're not going to get that because your shields are up. So this is also saying that if there's viruses in the air, which is going to be more and more of this, you're going to see it. Think about this, the Asian flu, the swine flu, how many times the vaccines came around? I mean, they're pushing this big time. And these are all man-made diseases building and building, okay? So what they want to do is get us sick, keep our immune system down. If we take these products, guess what? The system is up, shields are up, you're good, you're not going to be sick. So it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I'm actually taking that Ali C, and it does. I'll vouch for you. It doesn't make your breath stink. I love garlic anyway. Garlic, onions, you know.
That's Italian.
I don't know. I'm like a mutt. I'm a little mix of everything. I think we all are here in America. But
yeah.
Great stuff, great product, and it's just disconcerting. I think that is a huge place that the globalists are trying to win. Their globalists are trying to control our population. I know they are. I read it in this 1974 document. I read it in Agenda 21 and the new Agenda 2030 goals. The UN's with it. The U.S. government is with it. Mexican government. All the governments of the world are very aware of this. And right now we are, according to the globalists, they are failing in their own terms, in their own words, of where they want to be. They want us under 8. They didn't want us over, 5.9 in 2000. We exceeded that. We were 6.2, and now we're 7.28 and growing. And there's, so much at stake here. I do, it really does scare me as far as what actions they're going to take in the future. And I want to share with you something I wrote, because I think that a prediction that maybe in the future, when I took a trip to Bulgaria when I adopted my son, it was kind of like if you had more than 2 children, it was you were bad. You were bad. It was like socially unacceptable. And, after reading this and after reading, some of the things I've read in history's past, I see that coming to America. I see, people socially looking at each other saying, hey, if you have more than 2 children, you're messing with planet Earth. You're not helping planet Earth, and you can become a disgrace. You can become looked down upon. And that's just, I personally, honestly feel that could be something we're looking at in the future. I have already seen it internationally, and I see the mentality already working here. They're pushing the mini cars. They're pushing the mini, houses. Tiny house nation. The people who created that, and we lived in a tiny house. People were stressed out. That's not going to be fun. But
this is what they did in China, and they're still doing it. So we're possibly going to see this take place. And I did a video on my YouTube channel at Health Matters Now. I did this video, and I said, they and them know about your diet. And diet, if you think about diet, when somebody says the word diet, you think fat or you think thin. Okay, I'm on a diet. Oh, I got to get thin. Okay, oh, that guy's fat. It's all fat and thin. Nobody really starts thinking about your diet. What are you eating? So they have controlled the food, the GMOs, the organic, non-organic, whatever. They're pushing everything so there's no labels so that we eat their junk, which means we get sick. And they're pushing this every way, and they're very smart. They don't want to take the blame. So that, this going out in the streets and just shooting a bunch of people, it's never going to happen, because then they would be for blame. But if they can get the public through their mass media corporations and get the public to think, hey, I should only have 1 kid because that's what's fair for the child. It's not good to have 2 children or 3 because they'll be alone, and I won't be as good as mommy, and I won't. And they've already pushed it to where couples are having their children in their 30s or maybe even towards their 40s. That you're a bad girl if you have a child at 23 or 24. You're a bad guy if you have... And this is disgusting. I mean, we are sent to procreate, and this is God's way of raising our children. And they're getting us to the technology to mess us up with technology so that we don't even be with our children. So, I mean, They and them, you have to give it to them. They've really done a lot of manipulating of the minds to where it's our idea to, hey, you know what, we don't need to label, our idea, oh, we can do this, we can do that. So it's pretty scary. We need to get real sharp real quick.
That we do. And that's why, again, I love to have you on, because you really tell it like it is, and you know what's going on. I know you had a radio show, you're very in. I know we talk a lot off record about some pretty interesting things. Do we dare share those conversations?
Oh my God.
Maybe one day. But there is just so much more to it. Some we can share, some we cannot share for specific reasons. And, you know, there is an attack. Let me just put it bluntly. There's an attack on your health. There's an attack on your manhood and your womanhood and your attempt to make you sterile, attempt to dumb you down. And this isn't a joke. It's real. It's the real deal. And if you read this memorandum, you will find that that's been one of the agendas all along. You read Agenda 21, you find it again. They think we're overpopulated, and they want to limit the lifespan of the average everyday person, period. That's one for sure. If they can shorten lifespan, they can shorten population. If they can limit your children, they can limit that. And that's why I push your products. And it's not just because we're partners here. It does absolutely fund what I do here. But I don't back any product that I don't personally use or I don't personally, believe in. And Ronnie, I believe in all your stuff. And that's why I linked arm in arm with you, so to speak. It's because you do focus on what is it that gets out the globalist attack stuff. I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, chemtrails are just fake. And it's not fake. It's legit. It's what they're doing. The fluoride is screwing with us, the GMOs and all that. And you make your products to specifically get that stuff out. And I'm just thankful for you for that. And that's why I come here on my YouTube channel. We have our monthly information, and it's because we need to know about this. And I want all the listeners out there healthy and able to combat and stand against the globalists and know what's going on. So thank you for that, Ronnie.
I appreciate that. I want to say this too. You have a lot of people that subscribe to your channel, so you have a lot of people that are watching, and they're sometimes looking at this like, oh, look at this. They just want me to buy this product, blah, blah, blah. And this is really a sad thing, and I'll tell you why. We have so many people that contact us and say, thank you for putting this. If you notice, I don't carry every vitamin A, B, C, D. I don't carry everything there is to carry, and I won't. I target certain problems in people, the ones that are, and I'll just tell a story for myself. I went to the doctor. I had blood pressure of 160 over, 120, well, it's 160 over 80, okay? I just took my blood pressure today, and it was 110 over 73, totally normal. I did it just naturally, okay? That's my story. And there's other people that have the same story. So all the listeners, all the people that are watching you, and they say, oh, this is just a front for it, I'll buy stuff. Let me tell you something. You will be wanting, whether it's my product or something like my product somewhere, you are going to have to get on something that, because our food does not have the nutrition it used to. If our food was completely the way it was supposed to be, in other words, the way God made it, clear back when, we would never need these supplements. If we weren't eating Big Macs and all the garbage that's out there, and this stuff is nuked and whatever, we would never need a supplement, because everything here in our food supply is good. It has now been altered. It has now been changed. The same people that are buying up the dry farmland in California are the same people that don't want labels on GMOs. So we have to understand we are being attacked. And if you do not, and I'll just close with this, if you do not keep your immune system up and running, in other words, you don't want to be a health warrior, and listen to those words, health warrior, then they will get you. And you will be in a hospital, you will have something, you'll fall to some kind of disease, because they're putting them all out there. And I do believe that the herbs that God created before man, you can go in Genesis and read it, I believe those herbs were built here. God knew beforehand we're going to need them. That's part of our armor. So that's just what I'll say. And I thank you, Lisa, for teaming up with me, and because a lot of your people, they enjoy the products and they can see the difference. And of course, we always have specials, so it's not just about making that buck. We always have specials because we understand budget, so we get it. So go to the specials page, and you can find what you want, and you can find it for less money. So I just really want to encourage everybody, whether you go to my site or you go to another site, you need to get stuff, because if you don't, you're going to fall prey to the disease.
Absolutely. Now, you have a YouTube channel. Can you share that? Because I know you share health tips on there too, and I encourage everyone to check it out and follow it as well. What's that channel, Ronnie?
It's called Health Matters Now, and it's just little 2 to 4 minute deals. Doesn't take a lot of your time, but I talk about everything from what happens if Hillary wins, what's our healthcare going to be like, to talking about product review. And I like to educate. Most of the time when people order something, they get a slip in there that says, here's what you're getting, here's what it does, here's this, that, and the other, so that they're not just buying a product and just taking somebody's word for it. They're actually being educated. They're like, hey, the reason I take pine bark is because X, Y, Z. The reason I'm taking moringa is because X, Y, Z. The reason I'm taking tea is because blah, blah, blah. And they go, yeah, that's the good thing. So that's what I try to do. And there's not any other companies like that. We train the people so that they go, oh, did you know this does this? And they, it's good. We need to know why we're taking what we're taking, because if we don't, we're going to be in trouble. So it's very important.
Well, what was that special again? And then we'll close with that so they can have that, and any last thoughts you have.
The tea is the #1 product to get the tea. That's why it's called Get the Tea. I'm going to do a new logo. Are you on the tea? Because really, everybody's like, I got the tea. I'm on the tea. The tea's #1. It does so many good things. And our special this month is buy 3 months of supply, and you get a 4th month for free. Plus, you're going to be over the mark, so you're going to get free shipping. You just got to put the shipping code in there, but it's free. It's right on the website. And then we have all kinds of specials, so you go to the special page. And even the Ali C, you can get 2 bottles, and you save some money on that. Because if you just take 1 pill of Allison every day, you watch and see what happens. We'll see if you get a cold. I challenge you, because it's really that good. So it's very, 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 very important. I'm just telling you, immune system. For those of you who have gut problems, you need to go to the colostrum. You won't have gut problems anymore. So it's just a lot of good stuff. I really want to encourage people to put on their armor. This is the way it's supposed to be. And if you can get it somewhere else, then that's fine too. But you definitely need to armor up, because the viruses are falling.
All right. Well, thank you, Ronnie, for coming on the broadcast. I truly appreciate it. And thank you guys, all you listeners out there. And I appreciate you guys watching the channel and keeping up to date about everything that's going on. Well, thanks again for tuning in. This is Lisa and Ronnie signing out.
Bye now.